Aunt Nell.
Here's how to stay alive longer so you can enjoy Boost Mobile's unlimited plan with a price that never goes up. Do not mistake a wasp nest for a piñata. Stay alive and switch now at Boost Mobile. After 30 gigs, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
This episode contains stories that include sexual coercion and xenophobia.
This is Queer Roots and Roots. Stories of where we come from
and how we move in the world today.
We are a group of people living in London.
We're gay or queer, and we're mostly men.
And some non-binary people who were raised as men.
We're all either migrants to the UK and are racialized as being from an ethnic minority.
Ill. That's just a crappier way of saying global majority.
We all have different experiences and perspectives on the world. Some of us are racialized as black or brown.
Some as white.
Many of us have experienced racism and xenophobia.
Some of us are gay and some queer.
Some of us moved to the UK by ourselves.
And some are from an ancestral line that includes migrants.
We all,
every single one of us,
knows what it's like to be seen as other.
That is what brings us together.
We're part of a community project run by the Love Tank,
a not-for-profit community interest company that promotes health and well-being of underserved communities through education, capacity building, and research.
We wanted to make this podcast to tell our stories of crossing borders. Borders of nation-states, of gender and sexuality.
As a collective. We don't have a boss or a Beyonce, so every episode of Queer Roots and Roots has a different host and a different set of voices from our group.
Our promise to you is that our podcast is gorgeous, fierce, super gay,
and revolutionary.
I'm Rad. My pronouns are he, they. I'm hosting this episode, and if I had to sum up my theme, it would be, men are trash. I'm joking. Am I, though? So, you know the phrase, there are plenty of fish in the sea. In Poland, we say, tego kwiatu jest pół światu. This roughly means half the world is full of this flower. But dear God, most of them are just weeds. In the past 2 weeks, I got heartbroken, I got rejected, I got ghosted, and I got catfished. At this point, my life isn't even real. Like, I live in a telenovela. I just do it for the plot, like it's madness out here. Right, story time. I gotta tell you about the recent events. So, number one, I said I'm looking for something committed and long term, and he eventually admitted he's going away for 4 months. So that was a waste of time. Number two, cute first date. It just kind of slowly fizzled out. So I asked if he was still up for a second one, which I think is fair. He said, sorry, no, but would you still bake something for me? I mean, like the fucking cheek. Number three, he was coming on so strongly right off the bat, but only until we shagged, obviously. And I could really tell his interest was diminishing afterwards. So, you know, slow ghosting and all that. I just asked about it. He said he's just really busy with work and everything going on, and his flatmate's cancer. But that somehow didn't stop him from being online on Grindr, looking for now. Like, are men okay? Are men even okay? Number four, this is it. This is the one. A Hinge date. Everything's set up, time and place, and then like an hour before, he just unmatched me, blocked my number, disappeared. Like, I was like, what the hell? What just happened? But I saved this picture on my phone and did a reverse Google image search, and it was just a model from Australia. Like, I never spoke to that person. I just basically got catfished. So he probably didn't even unmatch me. He probably just got banned from Hinge and got absolute trash. For my episode of Queer Roots and Roots, I've picked a range of guys from our group who all have different perspectives on sex and dating, because I'm just trying to find a way through all this. Let's see who wins the failing at dating Olympics. First off, we have Stanley, who's in a cute, happy relationship now. But he told me he's got a poem that I can probably relate to, so come on, Stanley, let's go.
Hi, Stanley, he, him pronouns, 32, and the facts about me, I'm a poet and a writer. I fell in love with a boy who then blocked me on Grindr. Last night, you sent shockwaves through me, and I felt the tremors of 3 heartbeats that soared through the silence. It cocooned me, where you started and I began, like a constant interwoven thread, upended but still complete. Tomorrow, I'll marry that boy, delete those apps and move to Clapham. I'll dye my hair, get a French bulldog, a personal trainer. Tomorrow, he'll block me and I'll be back on those apps again. Tomorrow, I'll marry that boy, delete those apps and move to Shoreditch. Paint myself in tattoos, join a ska band, get a Doberman. Tomorrow, he'll block me and I'll be back on those apps again. Tomorrow, I'll marry that boy, delete those apps and move to Notting Hill. Take up Pilates, fill my days with brutalist architecture and flower arranging. Tomorrow, he'll block me and I'll be back on those apps again. In a year's time, I wonder if I'll still be heartbroken. Wonder if his absence will still feel like a drought, if the aching will finally cease, if the cavity will close by itself. Wonder if I'll find answers to questions, or if I will stop searching for them, cradle the hurt, let things be. The day tastes like umami, smells like roasted black coffee or cold halloumi. No, it tastes like stilted goodbyes and quiet yearning, an unresolved ending for things left unsaid, like the conversation behind uneasy stares, unuttered words. Today, I won't deny my love for you, how your loss felt like rejection, how your eyes bore holes into me, how I still want you, with all your conflicts and complications. Well, parts of me do, might always do. One day, we'll find love again. I have this warped daydream. I'll be your safe space and you'd be my refuge. We'd make a home out of broken hearts and hard lessons, paste over our trauma, heal out old wounds. We'd argue, fuck to our heart's content, but be madly, deeply in this. This, I promise you.
Ugh, those images. A French bulldog in Clapham, living in Notting Hill, doing Pilates and flower arranging. I mean, I get it. We all make these projections, don't we? Dreams. See, ever since I got my prefrontal cortex, I discovered I want a husband. I want to be a Stepford wife, stay at home, bake cakes, breads, make him homemade jam, pack lunches, iron his shirts and bed sheets, the whole shebang. All I want in return is good sex and some words of affirmation. I mean, that's not too much to ask for, is it? Stanley, I also wonder if I'll ever find answers to my questions or if I'll stop searching for them. It's not about Clapham, though. West Hampstead, maybe, but it's not about Clapham. Right. But before I turn this episode into my Dream Man wish list, let's hear from Xing, who I know has a way with words, so let's see what he's got to tell me about this big mess.
I'm Xing, I'm 31. My pronouns are he, him. I moved to the UK in 2014 from China, so my mother tongue, my first language is Mandarin Chinese, but I also speak English. So dating experience in the UK to me has been quite interesting because at the beginning when I came here, even though I could speak English, I learned English in China, but then when I came here, I had to learn the culture. Like I had to learn what actually people use when they describe certain things, and then the way that people speak as well. So this was very new to me when I first came here, and then I had to learn a lot of like conventions and then words that people use. Like for example, there was one word used to confuse me a lot. I know what people call rhyming now, right? But when I first came here, and then people told me this word, and then I was like, why this is called rhyming? It doesn't make sense at all. But now, I mean, it makes a little bit sense more than before. But yeah, you can say that this was actually a very interesting learning process for me. The fact that I can now speak both languages like fluent ways, I think it has brought me quite very interesting and sometimes unique experience as well. So now I can understand both languages, and sometimes I can teach people, like how to say some words when we are in the bedroom having sex in Chinese, and then that would actually spice things up a little bit. In Mandarin, during sex, a lot of people may say that I'm going to make you die. So this is something you would probably hear a lot if you go to watch Chinese porn or whatever. Yeah, imagine you wouldn't really say things like that here, right? Because if you do during sex, you tell someone that you're gonna kill them, then suddenly this becomes a horror film. So this is something that has been quite interesting to me, because I now can teach people to use those phrases, and then sometimes in Chinese as well. A lot of people actually appreciate it, so that has been quite fun to me.
Come again? I said before I like being thrown around in bed, but I do not want to be killed. Thank you very much.
After I moved here, after I started to use Grindr, I started to date people who speak English, and like people who are white here, British here in the UK. Then the more I did that, the more I realized that there was a very unbalanced power dynamics between English and British people who speak English as the dominant culture and as the at the top of the hierarchy. But then people like me, because we look different, we speak a different language, and then we have a lot of different cultures. Sometimes people might use those things to define us, and then they would have stereotypes of us, and then they would project their own assumptions onto us as well. So, for example, I do have some like stereotypical characteristics, like I'm smooth, I'm slim, I'm a little bit petite. So those things make people sometimes assume that I'm a very obedient person, I'm a very submissive person, and sometimes they would just simply assume that I'm a bottom as well. So although sometimes this is true, but I do occasionally top, and then I sometimes really enjoy being a dom as well. So those things people don't actually say in me, and they just use their assumptions and those stereotypes to define me, to think who I am. So that's something has been quite frustrating to me, really. And I have had worse experiences. So, for example, sometimes when I go on Grindr, and then I would get messages from some older people, and like daddies. I mean, I'm not against the daddies. I actually sometimes enjoy like a little bit daddy experience as well. But those messages that I'm seeing are sometimes can be seen quite offensive, because they would treat me as if I'm their little Asian boy. So basically, they are fetishizing me. They are like treating me in a certain way that is quite humiliating. It's basically objectification of myself, and I believe this is a lot of people who are experiencing this as well. So because of the differences that we might have, and then people think that this is something that they can use to exoticize us, to fetishizing us, and this is something really has been difficult for many of us, I think. However, I think sometimes I feel I'm actually a very active person, so I found a way to empower myself. So when I was young, I used to watch like very different poems, and then the poem industry is actually quite dominated by English speaking like companies as well. So I used to watch a lot of English poems, and then I would say it as like quite exotic to me, like when I was in China, obviously. But then I moved here, and then things were very new to me. Like having sex in English was very, very exciting for me. So what I often think is that I'm actually exoticizing white people. Like I'm exoticizing people who speak English to me, especially like when we are having sex in the bedroom, and I'm actually a very active person in the sex. So that has changed my experience fundamentally, because I just feel rather than being fetishized, I'm actually someone who is exoticizing them, and then that has made me feel really empowered sometimes. So that's my story, and my experience of like being a bilingual queer person. I just want to end to say that language is a very powerful thing. So sometimes we say things because those are only things that we can think of. So language sometimes define the way that we think, and then a lot of language can be, like certain words, certain expressions can be harmful, but there are a lot of ways that we can empower ourselves as well.
That's very interesting, isn't it? Language definitely defines the way we think about sex, and as expressive as it is, it can be equally limiting. It's been so long since I've had sex in Polish. I don't even think I can be sexy in Polish. Perhaps I should do something about this. Maybe I should take a page out of Xing's book and start teaching my partners some Polish. Language is important, but so is clear communication, right? You see, when I met my first boyfriend at uni, at the time it felt like I was in a teenage rom-com, literally, until it didn't. Towards the end, he said he felt like I never truly opened up to him, like I wasn't letting him in. He was right, and it took me years to get to the bottom of that. I was scared of being vulnerable. I was scared of letting my guard down. And eventually, I got this very strict and direct Eastern European therapist. Oh, I love tough love. And she told me you're not weaker if you're vulnerable. I got into a relationship again in 2020, and it was very different. Within 2 months, I was crying in front of him. I did so many cute and emotional things with him that my friends were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was being me, the real vulnerable me. And though we're not together anymore, I'm really thankful to him for all he taught me about myself. Next story. This is super short.
I'm Tokyo. I am 31, going on 32 very shortly. I am from South Africa. And something interesting about me, I'm a chronic overthinker and overdoer. And I talk a lot.
Well, I'm Chase. I'm 27. I'm from London. My pronouns are he, him. Interesting fact about me is I blagged my way onto the main stage at Festival with Diplo and Major Lazer in 2014 and got to party with them and felt like a rock star for 20 minutes. It was nice. You are on the tube home on the platform and your ideal sexy man is walking towards you. Visually, what does he look like?
Is this a
safe space? Yeah. Say what comes to mind.
No, 6'3" and above. You said ideal, right?
Yeah, ideal.
I mean, I'm very woke, so I don't like actually putting in boxes. If I'm being honest, I'll own it. Like I know we're supposed to be ashamed. I'm actually very woke, so this is ideal, right? Okay, cool. Ideal 6'3", 4, 5, 6, whatever, up to infinity.
Yeah.
Very broad shoulders, very like heavy set, dark, and I actually mean dark, not like Southern Europe dark, like actual dark. Everything big, like yeah. I mean, I could go into details, but like we want to keep this like safe for schools,
wholesome.
We want to keep it wholesome. I'll make the rest of the comments offline because I can get very explicit. So let me control myself.
Nice. Anyway, thank you.
Everything big? I'm so dead. Give us the fucking details, Tokyo.
Underwear drawers are like the Wild West of wardrobes. You never know what pair you're going to pull out or what shape it's in. It's time to upgrade your underwear drawer with the buttery soft comfort of MeUndies. MeUndies' signature fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. Plus, it's breathable and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear. Get 20% off your first order, plus free shipping, at MeUndies.com/ACAST. Enter promo code ACAST. That's MeUndies.com/ACAST. Code ACAST.
I love hearing these stories. I love talking to people about their experiences and desires. It sounds like we've all been through some nightmares, and yet we keep on dreaming. To paraphrase Sophie Ellis-Bextor, we're not giving up on love. You see, I've had my share of therapy, which, by the way, if you can, get it. And one of the many things I've learned is how I love and how I want to be loved. I think I can speak for a lot of Polish people when I say we're not great at expressing our feelings or care through words. We do it through our actions. Our national love language is definitely acts of service. When you're feeling down, I may not know what to say, but I will bake you a cake. I definitely take after my mum. Her name's Mariola. You just have to meet her. Imagine this 5'6", serious-faced woman with short, dark hair. She's constantly busy, always doing 10 things at once. She can be very funny, but she does not take any shit. You can tell when she's angry because she's got this stone-cold poker face and only one eyebrow goes up. It's the silence that kills. She sacrificed so much for me. It wasn't easy being a single mother in a small town in rural Poland. Most of the time we struggled with money, and even though she worked so much, so usually it was just me and my nan. I never met my dad. I think for a long time I had the feeling that I didn't deserve male love, which is pretty shit for a gay kid. Daddy issues, am I right? I'm quite lucky when it comes to my family because I never actually really had to come out. I have an incredibly supportive mother, and I was always just very gay, and I think I didn't really understand that I was different. Because I was just, again, people that were very close to me just were allowing me to be the way I am, whether it meant, constantly listening to Madonna or wearing skirts around the house or painting my face or dyeing my hair. I was let to do that. And that's why I'm quite glad because of that, because I think that's why I don't really associate things with being either masculine or feminine or gay or straight, just because I just did them, and that's kind of that. The problem kind of began when, started going to school, and I was basically bullied for a variety of reasons. Like being gay was just kind of one of them. There was also the fact that we were poor, and there was also the fact that I was chubby, and there was also the fact that I didn't have a father. There's so many things going on that, like, just me being gay, that was just one in the mix. And so I mean, yeah, in middle school it was a bit tough because that's when I really properly started to get bullied. I mean, there was a group of kids in my class and they literally set up a website to bully me openly on it. And there were death threats being sent around and yeah, there was a very organized group of people that were really, really trying to hurt me because I'm going to go back to my mum here. I think because she was just so supportive of me as a person, I always knew everybody else is in the wrong, which I think I'm just so glad about because I've got so many queer friends that don't have that. So they blame themselves for so many things and they think that they're the wrong ones and they try to be different. Whereas this whole time, I just knew I'm better than everybody else. And I just knew that they're wrong for bullying me, even though I had no proof of that. There was nobody in the news telling me that. There was nobody in the media telling me that. There was nothing out there really proving to me that I'm right and that it's okay to be the way I am. But just because I have the supportive mother that was like, oh, you go listen to Madonna, you go put on Kylie, you put her louder, that just kind of made me feel like, you know, it's fine, it'll pass. And she kept saying that. She was like, you know, one day it'll just stop. She was like, don't react, just keep on doing what you're doing and just keep being yourself, which I think is quite beautiful. So thank you to my mum. She's pretty fucking cool, right? God, I can't believe I'm making an episode about sex and dating and I'm out here talking about my mum. I guess it's because, as I've learned, it's all about what we experience growing up that influences how we go out into the world, right? All right, next up we have a conversation between Mali and Fausto. I want to know about their experiences of dating and learning about sex and relationships.
You're learning to open yourself?
Mm-hmm. Not literally. Well, it can be literally. My name is Mali Mior, and I'm from London, and I love tall, really tall guys, like skyscrapers.
Hi everyone, my name is Fausto. I'm coming from Venezuela. I've been in London for the last 9 years, and I also like tall guys. I realized that this year. Such a coincidence. Wow. It's fun to climb them. But
I agree. I agree. I really agree.
And they just met for the first time.
We are meeting each other today.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about you.
Yeah, guys, this is the first time us meeting.
You don't know anything about me. So I think...
Apart from your name.
Well, do you know how to pronounce it now?
Yeah, Fausto.
No, that's not correct.
Oh, no. How do you say it?
Mali, I know how to pronounce your name. How do you pronounce my name, please?
Yes. Wait, no, I have to read it.
It's Fausto.
Fausto.
Easy. Fausto.
Do you know what? Yeah. I think I'm overcomplicating it. I think when I read it, I can say it.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Fausto.
Just keep that paper there.
Yeah, Fausto. Yeah.
Okay. When you go to a date, what's the first thing you ask to someone?
Oh, when I go on a date.
Do you remember how was your first date, for example?
My first date, it was probably very ghetto, not gonna lie. It was probably a hookup, probably not even a date.
Okay.
I can't even remember that far back, actually.
Tell me about the one that you remember.
I remember going to someone's university. Yeah, crazy, I know. And we went to the cinema, actually. Went to the cinema, watch Batman versus Superman. They fell asleep.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good. Had some pizza after, like...
Were you nervous?
A bit, because this was kind of like my first time meeting a guy. And yeah, I just didn't know what to expect. Obviously, we spoke a bit like through text and on the phone.
Yeah.
But actually meeting someone face to face is a whole different ball game. And I think when I finally got there, I settled down. What about you?
Mine was a bit different. So basically, my first official date was with my first official boyfriend, if that makes sense. So kind of similar. I start meeting guys by hooking up. I think this is just a normal thing to do, at least.
Would you say that's how you started, like, your journey into...
I think so. I think that's how I don't want to stereotype everyone, but how
a lot of
we
us
all
do.
start.
Let's be real. That's how a lot of us start.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing at all. Like, so I met this guy. We met in, this is really random. We met playing tennis. We were in a kind of tennis academy thing. We didn't know we were not in a place of accepting our sexuality. So I think with the time that we were talking and kind of sharing experiences, we start realizing that we like each other. And then from then, one thing led to another. We start hooking up, and then with the month, we realized we want to start a relationship. Why not? And then the first date that I had with him was very cheesy, probably at Valentine's Day or something like that.
Aww.
But yeah, it was really cute. We were just to eat, kind of like in a coffee, and to talk about I don't know, our things. We were kids, so.
So you was really young.
Yeah, I was like 17, 18.
Oh my gosh, that was my age as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, my experience was one of my friends at the time in college. She had a mutual friend, and he must have saw me on Snapchat and must have added me. And was talking to me in a way where I've never been spoken to by a guy before.
Oh.
Yeah. So
what is this way? Sorry.
Well, kind of, dropping game. And it was very confusing to me because at that time, I obviously haven't discovered myself yet. But I'm sure people could tell I was a bit flamboyant or whatever. But I never really took too much notice of it. I kind of just went about life. And
yeah, you were being yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of people got bullied for it when they were younger. I know a lot of people got bullied, but I thankfully never went through that. So it was kind of like an easy ride for me until, I was messaging them and they were flirting with me, and I just did not know what to do. I did not know how to kind of handle it. We went to hang out. I went to his, and he was kind of, the whole trying to play fight with me and stuff. And I was just like, okay, I kind of liked it though. I'm like, oh, this is different. And then later that year, I did am I gay test or am I bisexual test online. It's so cheesy. But that's when I discovered that I liked men.
Thanks to the test.
Oh, I don't want to give so much credit to the test, but it kind of like, you know what? It made sense. Like, it made a lot of stuff that happened, maybe like growing up and stuff, or how I was, it all kind of made sense.
Yeah.
And then he introduced me to Grindr.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you were gonna say he introduced me to his friends, but
no,
it's fine. I think Grindr is an open war for us to find friends as well.
I've got a lot of opinions about that.
Oh,
but
wow.
That's for another time. That is for another time.
Mali, so do I. It sounds like they had fairly okay first experiences. Mine wasn't exactly great. I felt very alone. I felt like I had nobody to speak to. Nobody in my small crap town in Poland would understand me. So I met this guy online, and he ticked all the boxes. He was caring, he was understanding, he was also from a poor family, and I think we just really connected. And he was pushing me to have sex, and it was my first time. But after we did it, he just disappeared off the surface of the earth. That's not the end of the story. It's the beginning. I thought, is this how it's going to be? I give someone something and they just take it away? Then I stumbled across his profile again, but it wasn't him. It was his ex using his photo to warn people about him. He had proved that essentially he was a criminal with severe mental health issues and that it was possible I had been infected with HIV. He was 25. I was 15. The ex told me his thing was young virgins. That was all too much. I felt hurt. More importantly, I needed an HIV test, but it was so hard to access and I worried my family would find out. So I waited. I waited until I moved to London when I was 19 I tested negative, and I finally let go of the fear I've carried for 4 years. I finally felt like I can trust someone again. I get a sexual health test regularly. If you also need a HIV or sexual health test, you can go to the NHS. It's free and confidential. And there's a charity called AIDSmap. They have an HIV test finder where you can put your postcode and find somewhere to get tested confidentially. I'll put a link in the episode notes. Let's go back to Fausto and Mali because it's a cute conversation.
But I went on Grindr, then saw some guys I liked. And yeah, it kind of went on through there.
Kind of similar for me, though. I think, and for a lot of people, Grindr is
the starting point.
Yeah, you can call it starting point. I was gonna call it a perfect tool to meet people in any kind of environment, any kind of sense.
Especially back then, you could meet a lot of people platonically through there at that time. For me, anyway.
What do you mean exactly?
Grindr is mostly known for hookups.
Yeah,
but I feel like at the time, I made quite a lot of friends on there.
Okay.
From my experience, anyway.
No, yeah, from my experience when I started using Grindr, I was already out from Venezuela. So I didn't move here directly, but I was in Prague. And I started using Grindr in Prague because I didn't know anything about Grindr before. So I started meeting and hooking up with people from that I met in Grindr, and then that kind of opened the way to a new community of people, not only the ones that use Grindr, but the ones that I was realizing their existence thanks to the people that I was meeting. So for example, there is one guy that I met in Prague. I remember it because it's my first Grindr guy. No, but it was just a normal experience when it comes to sex, but I think it makes me realize that not all the gay people was as my friends were in Venezuela, or my partner was in Venezuela when I had those experiences as well. So it makes me, of course, expand the idea of, so there's something else. We are not only like this. I can also find people that had my hobbies. I can also people that find my taste, that they like the same experiences as me. So this is nice. This is because there's something really weird. When I was younger, I used to have the misconception of thinking that, okay, so I relate with gays when I want to have a relationship with them, but then I relate with straight people when I want to have a friend.
Okay.
That was such a crazy misconception now that I come back to that thought.
But do you know what? I get it because...
Oh, really?
No, I get it because at the time, I didn't even... Well, when I started, I didn't even think about making gay friends. That wasn't even like my thought. My thought was, before then, I never really had a sexual experience. Like, I probably kissed like 2 girls that I call my girlfriends in school, quote unquote. No, I never really had any sexual experience. So that was me opening up to that as well. So, and I think for quite a few gays, not even gays, just queer people in general, because I feel like being queer, a huge part of it is discovering your sexuality. And with me, I kind of just put the two together, like me discovering who I was as a queer person and me discovering through myself as a person that is now sexually active.
Yeah.
And it's only until later when I met a few different people, it's like, okay, I can actually make gay friends.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was very different because I start interesting on having real friends after I have a breakup, do you call it? A breakup.
Yeah, breakup.
With someone that I was having a relationship here.
Yeah.
And then I think because of the fact that, of course, I didn't want to deal with another relationship right away, I started looking for, not looking, but unconsciously reaching to people who were looking as well for friends, I guess. Yes, I start reaching to people automatically because I start going out by myself, to bars or to clubs, even though that the first time was crazy, but I got used to it. And I realized how easy it was to meet people when you go out by yourself because everyone is just approach you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that builds on me a confidence to start me reaching to the people that I wanted to reach on the sense of friendships. And I start slowly building a criteria of the things that I was looking for when it comes to friendships. So I think that breakup, I'm not sure if I'm using the right term, it's it helped me to give time to myself to build the community that I want.
That's good. I only started really making queer friends after my first relationship. It was like a year, maybe just over a year after I discovered that, you know, I was queer, and it kind of showed me a lot about myself. And it kind of made me more comfortable in myself as well, because I would go out with them, hold hands, and kind of just build up that courage to be myself, especially in public. And this was both of our first relationships, so it was kind of like doing it together. It wasn't the best relationship, but it did open me up to the world of being gay and stuff. And from there, once I met one, then he introduced me to more people, and they would introduce me to more people, and it kind of formed my community in a way. Even now, it's still very strong, not even just in the world of being gay or queer, just life in general.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier because you...
It's your support.
Yeah, and you can really relate to them. I think those are the people you probably would really relate to the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really needed that, especially after my first relationship. I needed that support because, yeah, from there I kind of not lost support, but kind of lost myself.
Okay.
Finding a community is very important. It is.
Yeah.
Because I know...
Do you think... Yeah, tell me.
No, I was just going to say, I know it's hard because sometimes maybe family won't support you, or maybe your past friends won't support you that, you know, that were straight or whatever.
Yeah.
So having them there really does.
So in a sense, we kind of have in common the fact that when we were broken, we were reaching for these connections. We were reaching to be close to someone else in community sense or in the friendship sense.
It is important to have those platonic people in your life because they really ground you, and you can really just experience and grow with them, you know. But yeah, it was actually really good talking to you. Yeah. Considering that we just met.
True.
So, is there gonna be a second date?
It's a bit cringe to ask for that, you know.
And on that note...
Well, this took a wholesome turn. They sound like they have some great friends, and that's one good thing that comes from all the failures in dating and sex. Often you end up with friends. We love a good date, but you know what else we love? Going home after a bad date and immediately sending out 15 voice notes, updating 3 separate group chats, and setting up a Zoom call with your friends to discuss exactly how bad it was. So what's my takeaway after hearing all these experiences and thinking through mine? In Polish, I'd say, nie wiadomo czy śmiać się, czy płakać. For you non-Polish speakers, it's an expression meaning one doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's good to have a little cry. It's always important to acknowledge the bad and the painful, find the strength in your vulnerability, keep dating, keep being yourself, because the right people will appreciate it and cherish it. Call your friends, have a laugh, look back at yourself and go, well, that was a little dramatic, wasn't it? And whatever it was, one day you'll get over it, and it'll make a great story. You see, I work in theatre. I think one day I'll have to make a show about my life. I'm Rad Konieczny. Thank you for listening to my episode of Queer Roots and Roots. Stories of where we come from and how we move in the world today. Do usłyszenia.
Queer Roots and Roots is produced for the Love Tank by Aunt Nell. Produced and edited and engineered by Tash Walker and Adam Smith. The assistant producers are Saqib Afzal, Jose Carlos Mejia, Amardeep Singh Dillon, Chase Edwards, Stanley Iyanu, and Rad Konieczny. Music by Edoy. Creative design and artwork by Richard Kahoji. Recorded at Pirate Studios in Dalston and Hackney Wick, East London. Executive producers Mark Thompson and Dale Taylor-Gentles. That's me.
Underwear drawers are like the Wild West of wardrobes. You never know what pair you're going to pull out or what shape it's in. It's time to upgrade your underwear drawer with the buttery soft comfort of MeUndies. MeUndies' signature fabric is as soft as a warm hug from your favorite sweater. Plus, it's breathable and oh so comfy, making it ideal for all-day wear. Get 20% off your first order, plus free shipping, at MeUndies.com/ACAST. Enter promo code ACAST. That's MeUndies.com/ACAST. Code ACAST.